Welcome back to Blackout, House of Bob's cyberpunk adventure set in the Vantal Megaplex and powered by the Sprawl RPG system.
Hi, I'm Cristina, and I'm playing Olivia Crow, who's on the run from MassCorp while trying to figure out who's friend and who's foe.
This is Shubert. I'll be playing Bunk, the cyberfunky audio junkie, hacking beats on the Vantal streets.
My name is Alex. I'll be playing Garrett, conspiracy theorist, wildcard, senior citizen.
I'm Dan. I'll be playing Tiz, the hard-nosed reporter, tracking down corruption no matter the cost.
And I'm Jake, your GM. If you want to support the show, check us out on Patreon, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, or just tell your friends about us. Roll on.
And you're listening to I Told You So with Bird Nightly. Previously on our show, we interviewed the highly confrontational and probable liar Octa Quinley of the Passing Angel Axiom. Our sources at Vantal Security and Justice Commission have revealed that Octagon and her lying angel axioms were part of a nefarious plot against the people of Vantal all along. I told you so! It's now known through an underworld conflict between the two-faced axiom and a group of wanted terrorists that Octa Quinley and her Blue Angel goons have been attempting to orchestrate a takeover of Vantal's energy grid and communication infrastructure. That's right! This conniving cabal of religious extremists wanted to restrict our free speech and stop me from bringing you the truth! While the Axiom's devious plan has been foiled for now, Octagon Flimflam's location is unknown, as is that of the terrorists who supposedly oppose them. Who knows whether this is just more of ongoing incompetence from the Vantal Security and Justice Commission or a larger conspiracy to keep us from knowing the truth. You can be sure that wherever they are, they're absolutely up to no good, and that we'll be the first to break the news when the truth is revealed. I'm Bird Lightly, and this has been I Told You So!
We left off with your Sabo dropping into the Pacific Ocean after re-entry. There's a tense half hour or so while you float there, mostly unaware of what's happening outside, hoping your contact will come through, when you feel the pod being lifted out of the water and roughly set down with a metallic clang. Water drips from the hatch door as it opens to reveal the mostly toothless grin of Elijah and the crew of the Blind Tiger, one of the few pirate operations, capable and foolhardy enough to take on the VTC patrols, guide you through the Sailor Sea Refuge City, and slip you past the seawall, back into Vantal proper. Back on solid ground, you arrange to meet up with Adira and Detective Wilson to share the information you gathered and plan for your next move. We rolled off air for how getting paid went, and you got a solid 12. You chose to be paid in full, learn something, and for the meeting to not be a setup. You review Jericho's video of Jala and Octa unveiling the satellites, your conversation with Anika on the station, the salvageable remains of the satellites and sentries, and testimony from Berkeley, the Axiom operative you subdued on the station. You learn that Adira was able to record a conversation of a board meeting at Motherlode, revealing more of Anika and Cadabra's motivations. Part of their agreement with Jala and the Nonsuch group was targeted blackouts in the old city, disabling flood pumps and seismic compensators that would lead to destruction that Cadabra would be hired to rebuild, much like during the floods and earthquakes of the setback many years ago, wiping away much of the old city and welcoming in a new quote-unquote golden era without being held back by the remnants and dregs of the lower city. Additionally, Wilson had continued his undercover surveillance and tracked Axiom activity to Cadabra facilities throughout the Honeycombs, discovering where the Axiom has been hiding the already active blackout generators. And then I rolled for how well this all shakes out. I gave you a +3 since you had lots of evidence, what I mentioned above. And I rolled a 9, giving you a 12.
Nice.
I don't know where all the good rolls were during the campaign, but here they are now.
At least it ends well.
Yeah.
Except for Cass.
Yeah.
Cass is dead.
Rip.
Rep.
The Passing Angel Axiom is exposed as dangerous, hypocritical, deceitful terrorists. The blackout generators are tracked down and destroyed by the VPD with Detective Wilson's help, rendering them more or less powerless. However, it'll still take time for the city to heal. Many people are traumatized by their experiences, believing they had found a group where they belonged. A group that truly cared for them, for who they are naturally without the need for cybernetics, only to have that torn away from them. High-ranking Axiom members are arrested or killed by vengeful mobs. The church dissipates, but isolated cells of resentment, steadfast believers, and uncertainty remain, and the tension between cybered individuals and otherwise is still in the air. There's enough evidence against certain Cadabra and subsidiary C-suite members to convince the board to oust them to save face. Adira takes Anika's place in Motherlode and is able to pay the team's bill in full with a generous bonus. as she tries to steer the company away from the dangerous ambitions of her mother. Those involved or in the know had feared reprisal from Dr. Jala Factor should they cross her. Even with the satellites destroyed, she still had the generators hidden in the city that could destroy them economically or open them up to unfortunate accidents. But since the generators were discovered by Wilson as well, enough of them grow a spine and come together to denounce her and convince the Lunar Board to authorize a raid of the Nunsuch research facility on the moon. Their array of highly advanced technology is seized and the group dismantled, but the Doctor and other high-ranking members are nowhere to be found. And that's kind of it. We'll do your individual epilogues in a moment. Any questions or comments or thoughts about how things ended?
I mean, it seems overall like things went as cleanly as one could expect for us.
Yeah, once things got out of our hands, that was good for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
When they were no longer relying on us to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Things went smoothly.
We were the catalyst, but
Yeah.
as long as we didn't do the footwork, it all turns out well.
We're like the destructive fire, and then like the forest slowly grows back up kind of thing. So,
Wow, nature is healing.
What a beautiful way to see that.
Yeah, that's really nice.
All right, cool. Then, yeah, let's see what happened with your individual characters after last mission. So we'll start with Bunk then.
He's had a rough time, especially with the hacking. And so it's basically going to swear off hacking after he parts ways with these guys and, you know, says like, it's been great working with you, but gotta, you know, keep moving on to bigger and better things, trying to make myself a better Bunk. You know how it is. I think I would reach out to my sister, Blink, and see what she's up to. I have this idea that she's also kind of trying to move on to a simpler life, and she's kind of joined some kind of simple farming community. It's pretty extreme, actually, because I think she's like, they don't have any electricity whatsoever, so they're quite literally off the grid. Yeah, I think Bunk's gonna join her and her adopted kids and become, instead of being Bunk, the beat hacker, he's going to become Unk, the beat farmer.
He really likes to change up the name.
I don't know. Are we rolling dice to see like how well this turns out?
Only if you want to. If you want to decide narratively, that's fine. If you want to roll dice. It's your guys' story at this point, so.
I just don't want to be the only one who doesn't if everybody else is going to.
I wasn't planning on it.
let's roll a 6 and see if you're allergic to beets.
All right, on a 1, I'm allergic to beets. All right, I rolled a 2, so I don't love them.
So allergic, you have to wear like gloves.
No, I'm not allergic, but I don't like the way they taste, unfortunately.
They're very tough.
You have to wear a full face mask so your face is still covered.
Oh, actually, no. Here's my thinking for kind of the last scene of Bunk. You see Bunk, he's like working on this farm. He's farming beets, obviously. Probably we're not sure where he is, but he's far away from Vantal. He's somewhere fairly nice and pleasant. It's like wide open country. Think Saskatchewan or something. And I think it ends with him going back to this big barn. And there's all these people gathered. And he plays a set on some like drums. Just some like bongos or something. He just plays for the crowd. He's kind of just like doing his old thing, but without any corporate espionage anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah, you drop that beat.
Cool.
Yeah, and I accidentally drop a beat, and I'm like, oh shit, I dropped a beat.
They come tumbling out of the drum.
Oh, my beat.
Yeah. And then everyone went crazy. The harvest!
They kicked you off the commune. Oh, man.
That sounds good. Was there any, like, I don't know, like loose ends or anything from Bunk's story throughout the campaign that you feel needs to be resolved now? Or
Does he still wear his mask?
Thanks for bringing that up. I was going to say he's taken off his mask as well because he's finally living somewhere where there's not a whole bunch of pollution. And Bunk had pretty bad asthma, so he can finally breathe.
Except for all the beet fumes, but
Yeah.
you get used to those.
So what does he look like underneath?
He looks exactly how you imagine him.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ugh.
He's a lion under there the whole time.
Gross. It's a lot of acne.
Well, that's your fault.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Sorry, Jake, you did ask about any loose...
Loose ends or little bits of info that maybe got buried or you didn't get to reveal that you want to reveal now?
I think, honestly, like, Bunk is just... it's sad to say, but I think Bunk is pretty upset about all the kind of lives lost during our missions. Before he leaves to be a beet farmer, he would probably just send kind of a message out, like a little secret message to all the kind of like people who he feels like who were like affected by this. And it's kind of like his formal apology for his like just being involved in all this and not doing better to like help them. And basically I'm like leaving this life now. Yeah.
Did you do it in the form of a rap?
Yeah, it probably is hidden in a beat. I mean, I can't send a message that's not a beat.
I was imagining more as just we didn't start the fire, but
I was bad at hacking. And I'm really sorry.
For your losses. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like crying, but they're dancing a little.
Yeah.
we killed that guy at the harbor.
So it isn't like we didn't start the fire because we did actually start
These
the
are the
fire.
fires
Yeah.
we did start. Yeah, but we didn't start these ones.
I didn't kill that guy. It was just with a
his.
toolbox.
Yeah, here's his number and address.
It's an apology, but it's also trying to absolve myself.
Right.
But it's a real bop.
It's a real bop.
It's a real bop.
Awesome. Alex, tell us about Garrett.
Garrett, as usual, fucked around and found out. So, during this last mission, there was some failures or some partial successes with Barf, where half of them got picked up while trying to make that distraction to allow us all to get onto the launch. And Garrett, like, in all the excitement of getting like rescued by the pirates and all this crazy stuff on the space station, he kind of just forgot to like post bail for those guys.
What?
Yeah. So
He had a lot on his mind.
yeah, I mean, he's a busy guy. Anyway, so when he was heading back to his lab to like, see what was what and get started on a new batch of drugs or whatever, turns out that those Barf guys, the 15 of them who got picked up, they flipped on him and the cops were waiting for him at his lab. So he got picked up, went to jail, and then during the trial, the Barf guys were kind of idiots and they incriminated themselves, and they all 15 of them, half of Barf and Garrett went to prison together.
They would separate you.
No, actually they didn't. I think maybe the Justice Commission figured that it would make for a worse sentence.
What a bunch of olds could do.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, what could they possibly do? Maybe they thought it would be for like a worse sentence for all of us if we were stuck in there together. But eventually we made up. We made a new gang, which was half of Barf and Garrett and a couple guys from prison. So we made a prison gang called Puke, which stands for prisoners using knives every day.
That's something the guards want to hear.
Yeah. Well,
They don't know what it stands for.
and there's a couple of the guards in it, right? As with most prison gangs, right? A couple of the guards are in on it. And, they've got a, thriving little small business going in there. They're making toilet drugs and,
It used to be pus before the guards joined, but it was just prisoners using shivs. But now they have real knives.
Yes. That's because they had some people from the outside throw them in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You also don't have to work with the currency. You can
That's right.
like use e-cigarettes and stuff.
Yeah, vape cartridges.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's the currency in prison these days. So, yeah, I mean, so, bad news, he went to jail, but good news, he's kind of having a good time. He's like king of the jail. So,
Yeah.
How long is his sentence?
let's see, how many drug charges did they pick him up for? I think he's in there for like 40 years. So
I think it's a life sentence then for you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, he's in his 80s, so he'll probably have some time left.
Is that how old Garrett is?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. He's way older than I thought.
Why did we take this old man?
He's the toughest son of a bitch of all y'all.
It's true.
Yeah. He looks really good for his age.
Yeah, it's fine. He'll get to the end of his sentence and then he'll get out and he'll, start back up again.
And then he'll miss the inside because so much will have changed.
That's right.
Garrett's going to be the only one alive for when Nickel comes back.
Oh, true. I mean, I do call him Garrett the Immortal, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Oh,
That's kind of the thing. How long did we freeze Nickel for?
100 years.
100 years.
Yeah.
100 years. When he does eventually get out 40 years later, he's very worried and spends, decades worrying about what happens if Nickel gets out early. And
Centuries.
He spends 60 years to worry about it.
Yeah.
What a life well spent.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ugh.
So that's Garrett.
Does he ever die? Does Garrett ever die? Or is he just an immortal? This is what the listeners
walks
need
the
to know.
It feels like a rude question to ask.
Yeah, never ask someone.
Is Garrett a Highlander? Is this all taking place in the Highlander universe?
well, no one ever shot him in the head, so
Send in your fan fiction.
yeah.
All right, send in your fanfic.
The fan fiction that Garrett writes and puts up on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would think he would only write Burn Nightly fanfic.
But yeah, that's Garrett. Into prison, out of prison, doing drugs and taking names. So
Nice. I'm just glad he's happy.
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
Is there like a nice scene like you thought you could end on? Like a scene of Garrett with his like cronies running a drug deal? He's just looking happy or something?
I just figured a scene of them like, having contraband tossed over the fence in the prison and just making piles and piles of money, vape cartridges. And he has a real feeling of fulfillment. That's what this was all for.
Good.
I would ask if any of the others would come and visit you in prison at any point.
No.
Wow.
Well, I guess that answers that.
I feel like that's asking to get arrested for our other various
Other crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. It does, it doesn't hurt Garrett's feelings. I mean, he doesn't expect you to
I'll
put
send
yourself
letters.
for that kind of a risk. Yeah, send letters for sure.
Oh, yeah. I imagine Tisk loves writing real paper letters.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Garrett has one of the puke guys respond on his behalf. So all, they're very nice letters that get sent back, but they all say dictated but not read.
Dictated by.
Yeah.
You just get a bunch of beets one day in the mail.
Mm. And am disappointed to discover there's no like razor blades or anything hidden inside of them. So who sent me these fucking vegetables?
Yeah, you're like, what the hell? Useless.
some beet flavored vape cartridges.
But yeah, that's it. That's Garrett.
Then let's find out what Olivia's been up to.
Well, I mean, I think there's always been an underlying feeling of restlessness for Olivia, especially staying in Vantil. She was kind of always ready to move, but, got to do this one last job kind of situation kept coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with all their earnings and the bonus they got from Madeira, she's going to buy the nicest camper van that money can buy.
Nice.
And she's going to move up north to Alaska just to get away from everything.
Nice.
Yeah,
Live that van life.
exactly. Hashtag van life to what I decided is the coast of Fairbanks, Alaska.
Nice.
Now coast.
Yes, the
line.
now
Yeah.
coast of Fairbanks, Alaska. Yeah, I mean, so mostly she just lives her whole life out there. I mean, she doesn't live in the town, so she comes into town every once in a while, and I think has kind of a witchy reputation. For that crazy lady who can talk to birds, you know?
Yeah. How are your birds adjusting to van life? I guess they were always living that van life.
Well, one of them was anyway. The other one, yeah, they're doing good. I mean, she spends most of the time, taking care of them, and actually, she takes care of a lot of the wildlife out there. In the end, becomes very sort of zen with nature in a way, which is kind of totally against how she was brought up with the cyberware. She doesn't even try to really use it anymore with the birds, just lets them do what they want. But they're so bonded to her anyway. They still come back, but they're mostly free birds at this point. Don't play the song. So
it used to be a thing for Olivia that she wanted to try to figure out how her implant worked and that kind of thing. So is that something she kind of gave up on, or not gave up, but decided not to pursue further?
I think it is kind of a give up on. She was into it at first in the beginning years, but eventually kind of realized that it's sort of imprisoning her birds in a way that she started to realize is she wanted them to be free too. So
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that she becomes basically like a druid.
Yeah, exactly. I think the ending scene for her is just one of the times she just comes back from town driving in, and then all of a sudden, there's some flock of birds that fly together, but then there's just a little gift left out, and you kind of know that that's from one of the offspring. And it's just a nice little thing that she picks it up and takes it into her trailer with her.
Aww.
Yeah.
Cute.
Very nice.
Nice.
That's nice. A nicer ending than I thought it would be.
Yeah, at first it was going to be kind of sad, but then I sort of thought about it in the terms of if she can get out of Vandal, her life actually is way more improved.
Right.
And I was thinking if that was a sad or happy thing for her, but for her, that's a happy thing because she's used to being solitude in general. But in this case, it's all her choices, all everything she's doing is based off of what she wants to do now, which is great.
Yeah, you already had the rough patch in your life, so
yeah, exactly.
You've gone into bird retirement.
I think as a whole, Mass Corp doesn't look for her anymore just because it's not worth it to them.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It's just she causes more destruction for them than as a positive output. And they've already kind of moved on, technology-wise from where she left off anyways, so.
That's true. Cool.
Does Kyle ever try to contact her?
Yeah, did you take Kyle to the farm?
Are still good friends, but he lives in Vantal.
Sorry. Still friend zone.
He's actually the only person she still talks to out of everybody.
Wow. That's a little hurtful, actually.
Well, to be fair, she's still marked as a terrorist, so she doesn't try to show her face and stuff very often.
But you'll risk it for Kyle? Yeah.
Her and Kyle have been good friends before and after you guys. So he's married and has 50 kids, so he's happy.
50?
Yeah. They're adopted, most of them. But
and he has a very deep voice now.
Yeah.
He went through a very late puberty.
Oh,
no,
I
was
think
surgical.
It's a cyber.
It's a cyber.
It's hey, Olivia. Hey, how's it going? It's Kyle.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Great. Good. No more questions about the puberty.
Yeah, we don't need to dig
It wasn't puberty, is what I'm saying.
No, it wasn't cyber puberty.
No, puberty
it was
implant.
just cyber voice.
cyber puberty.
Cyber puberty.
Cybuberty.
Make those balls drop again.
Even harder.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You'll be able to throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier.
Oh, no. What have we opened up here?
It was all leading to cyber balls.
Oh, man.
Always. This whole campaign.
Yeah, only one road we're on.
All right.
How many
Now that we've
roads
ruined
must your
Olivia.
balls march down? No, okay.
Tis, quick, go.
All right, Tiz's turn. So, first off, Tiz professionally is going to switch things up. He is now a man of action instead of words. So he's going to go kind of a combo private detective bounty hunter. Going to bulk up. He's going to get some sweet cybernetic enhancements, and he's going to look way scarier than he did before. But he's still going to wear like his pretty geeky outfit.
I assume he keeps the sword.
Oh, totally.
He always wears it.
That's kind of what he's known for now.
Mm-hmm.
They call him Blade on the street, so.
Yeah, sure they do.
That's what he tells them to call him, but
Yeah.
What do you think the impetus was for such a drastic career change?
I think he got a taste for it.
Right.
Through all of the adventures we'd been on, he realized he's become a bit of an adrenaline junkie. And he finds this is a good way to do that. And plus the newspaper fired him because he really, he was not doing a very good job. He wasn't checking in,
Yeah.
when he did have a story, it was good, but they were so few and far between that's is this actually his job? I can only think of a handful of times where I'm I should probably put in a story about this. On the personal side, Tiz is going to use some of that money that we earned from the last big payout, and he's going to buy a dressage horse.
What?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's see where this goes.
And what's her name? Melissa? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Melissa
There's
Horace.
Melissa and Melissa
Melissa.
Jr., so
Yeah.
you have to be specific.
Which one was I into?
MJ.
Yeah. So he rides up on the dressage horse up to the farm. And I think this is the only time I'm gonna roll. So I'm gonna roll my 2d6 plus my cool. Because I think if she doesn't find this cool, then I'm pretty much out of luck.
And you're crazy beefy right
Do you
now,
have a boombox over your shoulder
Yeah.
when you...
Let's say it's been about a year since I've really made contact with her. Since I brought Garrett to her. So I'm hoping she's cooled off since then. Let's find out.
All right. That makes sense.
That laugh definitely leads me to believe it wasn't a good roll.
Yeah, even though I have +2 cool, a 3 won't help.
You really beefed it with her.
Yeah, so Tiz rides up in his dressage horse. He waves to her. She closes the door, and then Tiz just keeps on walking, or keeps on riding.
And now Tiz owns a horse.
Yeah. It was originally going to be a gift, but he realizes maybe he can use this in his bounty hunting.
Oh,
So-
and now he just rides around the street on his horse.
Yeah.
On a dressage
with a
horse.
sword.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't know how much dressage horses are bred for long-term walking.
No, he looks hilarious because they walk really high on their legs.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you.
It's not like a cool into the sunset kind of saunter. It's a very hopping up and down kind of
Yeah.
ride. But
It does look really cool though. Anytime you take down an enemy and your horse does a little dance.
no, I keep it for a week and then I just send it in the mail to Melissa.
In the mail. Man, the limits for what you can ship have really
Oh yeah,
increased in the future.
QuickBox will take anything.
yeah. So quick that your horse won't die. That's their motto.
Wow. It's very specific branding.
Well, they started off as a horse shipping company, so
Oh,
Did they?
I didn't realize that.
Hey, did you guys not read that in the...
Sorry.
yeah. I'm revealing a lot of lore in this last little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
here.
Lore
Yeah.
building. Lots of
QuickBooks did have a lot of actually internally Western influence. So,
really?
Yeah, because that was Sean's company, and he wanted it to be a great train robbery kind of thing.
Oh.
Nice.
So all the names of everything are kind of Western themed and that kind of
That
thing.
makes sense why you did a train robbery thing.
Well, horses have apparently become really popular again in the future. So
Yeah, apparently.
yeah,
I mean, just like now, they're luxury creatures.
yeah.
Now that Tiss is a bounty hunter, does he dabble at all in the hit massively multiplayer bounty hunting game Skip Tracer?
I think he would. I think he's kind of an attention seeker as well. So he likes seeing his name in the papers.
That doesn't sound right.
I assume he needs the winnings to like pay for taking care of this goddamn horse.
No, I gave up the horse. I don't have to feed it
He
anymore.
sent it in the mail, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not my responsibility.
Yeah, and the person can never return to sender a horse.
It's like
They have to
you
accept
don't
it.
buy a bunny on Easter and you don't send your girlfriend a horse. Your ex-girlfriend a horse.
But then you do still send it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that memo.
That's where that saying comes from. Is Tis did that.
Yeah, it comes afterwards.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, someone had to start it.
Terrible.
But I think he would dabble in Skip Tracer. I don't think he'd be very good at it.
They can usually see the horse coming, yeah.
And hear it.
They're like, there's Blade in quotation marks.
Oh, man. It's amazing.
I do think it'd be funny if you were Skip Tracer because you probably couldn't just get Blade. I'm sure that's already taken.
Yeah, you'd Blade XX 420 or whatever. But
Yeah. Well, it's even funnier because I can't get close to them because I refuse to use like any sort of projectile. So it's like,
How do you play Skip Tracer without a gun?
not well.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's really popular.
Yeah. Yeah, he's become more of a gimmick than anything.
For sure.
Makes his money giving interviews, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. He relishes in the limelight, but
Mhm.
likes to tell his tales of being a weird person.
Yeah, you get an interview like, Tis, do you think you'll ever like actually
Catch a bounty?
Bounty?
I think this is my year, guys.
It's all coming up, Blade.
Well, that got weirder than I thought, but
it did.
I think once you brought the discharge horse in, it kind of opened it up there.
Yeah, let's be real.
I mean, yeah, I think it works somehow in a weird, twisted way.
yeah, he's just I don't want to say attention whore now, but
No, you don't want to say that.
No.
He's like a celebrity.
Find
won't
a
say
different word.
I think like a B-level celebrity is definitely
yeah,
makes sense.
Think like that.
D
Like,
level.
C,
Pretty
whatever.
good.
That feels generous.
Hey, I did some cool stuff.
Blade level celebrity.
I keep trying to get Jen to work with me on stuff, but
He's busy.
yeah,
He's like, who are you? Again.
I filmed that awesome movie for you.
Keep getting referred to as assistant every time you try to contact him.
Mhm.
I mean, it sounds like you guys kind of really went different ways. So originally I was going to ask, how you guys kind of kept in touch or anything, but it doesn't really sound like that happens much, if any.
No, too much trauma.
Yeah, just through letters. This is our healing process. We have to part ways.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sounds good. So I also asked you guys if you had a particular NPC or a contact or other character that you wanted to do an epilogue for. Any volunteers?
Well, there's some stuff that happens for Burn.
Yep.
The fact that Burn got it all right and he told everyone so, it kind of like revolutionizes his career. So he ends up getting nationally syndicated.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
So it's a bad ending. The entire it's a bad ending.
But real.
He becomes the primary anchor for what is it? Sky News. Is that the terrible?
Yeah,
That's the terrible
that's
one.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he becomes the primary anchor for Sky News, which is the only major news source in Vandal now.
Okay, I guess my question is he still right on stuff? Or is he now just like blasting off on anything and some stuff sticks, some stuff doesn't?
All of the above. That's
well,
it.
Okay.
the
All of
worrisome
the
part
above.
is people now believe him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But people believed him before is the problem.
Yeah, but now he has a much wider audience.
he does.
But it sounds like probably the news anchors on this news station didn't have that much more journalistic integrity.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
they're no Tiss, so
yeah. Maybe Burn becomes like super reputable now, like
Yeah, Burn
the
might
most
be a
trusted
step up.
man in America, like the Walter Cronkite.
they call him that. He's the most trusted man in news.
That's what they call him anyway.
That's what they call him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why Olivia moved.
His reporting quality does not improve. Let me be clear.
Right.
It does not improve at all. But yeah, his reach becomes very far. His unique style of reporting changes news forever.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, there's a lot more yelling on TV, that's for
Oh,
sure.
there's so much more yelling. And it honestly kind of changes the way that people, interact with each other just in the public sphere.
What the hell?
And years later, people will theorize about how the downfall of polite society was Burn Knightley's fault.
Do you have a name for the show?
It's BNN. Burn News
Just
Network.
BNN.
Burn News.
BNN.
Burn News Network.
Oh, so
Yeah.
eventually, like, it takes over Sky News? Like, it becomes its own thing? Or is it just...
Yeah, they rebrand. It's
wow.
BNNBC, Burn News Network Broadcast Corporation.
Yeah, of course.
BNNBC.
My question is, like, how does all this fame, like, affect Burn?
He loves it.
Well, like, but does it go to his head? Like, does he become, like, one of those...
Oh, on
like,
day one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always like that.
Yeah. So any kind of, like, integrity that he might have had is just gone immediately anyway.
What do you mean? He has the most integrity of any newscaster in history.
Is what
Yeah,
he
it-
would tell you.
It's said at the start of the show. So
I feel like,
Yeah.
Okay, Burn.
Yeah. He has a lot of integrity, and anyone who questions it, he
Fires them.
hires a bounty hunter to deal with it. That's what people with integrity do.
I know who he can hire.
That circles my question around. Like, Bunk was kind of into Burn for a while. Do you think once he sells out, is he still into him?
Would you even notice?
Bunk doesn't have electricity anymore.
Oh, so Bunk doesn't even know this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that I had this idea that Bunk, once in a while, he'd probably like have some like secret hidden laptop or something that he'd go off to just to check on the world, just to check on. And I think he would tune into a Burn nightly broadcast and just be like, fucking sell out.
Yeah.
his segment used to be called Burn Nightly, but I guess now it's just Burn Nightly always.
Burn Nightly Network.
And he's always advertising his like pills. I mean, he was doing that before, but it's
Burn 24/7 or Burn daily.
Yeah. The Chiron on the bottom of the screen, just like 24 hours a day, burn pills.
burn pills. Get your burn pills. It's mandatory.
Your legally mandated burn pills
Yeah.
Yeah.
that he legislated for.
Yeah.
It's a
Anyway.
really dark ending for the for
Yeah, I
Vantil.
know.
Yeah.
We really should have had him go last now, because that makes me sad.
Sorry, y'all.
Build my NPCs in this hellscape of a Vancouver.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm in Vancouver, Seattle, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly the thing. It's like why Olivia could not be around anymore. It was a shitty city. And it just got worse.
Yep.
Way worse, yeah.
Yep. But that's burn.
That's Burn,
Great.
baby.
That's Burn,
That's
baby.
burn, baby.
All right, who's next?
I want to go.
Who wants to ruin it more?
I've got a great way to how to ruin it more.
Please.
Okay. Lex, the character that I played during the I don't know, do we have a name for that kind of one shot?
Yeah, just the Axiom Angel section,
Yeah, the
I guess.
Passing
We
Angel
didn't-
Axiom
Yeah.
kind of one off. So Lex, obviously, she joined the Passing Angel Axiom because she was running away from the One Collections agents. And she had joined them to get safety from them. And she rised up the ranks pretty quickly by doing a lot of their dirty work. And I think once they start falling apart and turning on each other, and a lot of them are being like hunted for and stuff, she's gonna try to find another way to survive this situation. And I think she's going to eventually find herself basically like surrendering to One, but entering basically she's going to reach out to One and become like a collections agent so that she doesn't have to face imprisonment or
Work off your debt. Yeah.
so yeah, she's gonna like work off her debt doing their dirty work now.
Indentured servitude, basically.
Yeah, basically she's still basically a prisoner to them.
Mm-hmm.
But at least this way she doesn't have to sit in a cell. She can have a little bit of freedom.
Yeah, she can make other people sit in a cell.
Yeah.
She has to shoot a gun.
Lovely.
So my thinking was one of her targets, because obviously there's so many NPCs that we met that probably were being sought after by one. And I think one of them could be Freeze, the guy that we paid for to keep Nickel frozen.
Yeah, I can't imagine he has a spotless credit history.
No, I think he's got the least spotless history out of anyone we've ever met.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
He certainly did a lot of like under-the-counter transactions and stuff, which one likes to crack down on. So yeah,
and it did kind of sound like he maybe had a gambling problem since he did know Garrett through gambling.
Yeah, in that short amount of time, we learned a lot. Yeah, and we didn't like what we heard. Yeah.
So I think Lex and like a small team of agents like burst into the cryogenics facility with like machine guns.
Holy shit.
They like arrest everyone there. They're really looking for like Freeze. So they like take him away. Once Lex looks at like what's going on in this facility, she realizes that there's like all these people here that are like frozen illegally.
Oh fuck.
And she's just gonna just gonna let them all go.
Fuck!
Just mass unfreeze them.
Some of those people are going to be mad. They're like, I wanted to be in here. This was the only way I could afford it.
It's like part of her contract with one. It's
right.
Like these people aren't paying for, like legally for their freezings. So.
Yeah. And you probably like, took the cryopods as payback and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're like repoing the whole place.
Yeah, exactly. Repossessed it. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, so Freeze actually owned that whole place? Or like...
I think he was just the leak, basically. Like, he was the idiot that got them all busted.
So,
yeah, he was an idiot.
No, now you're disassociating yourself with him. Yeah.
Garrett didn't know him that well. I mean...
I've never seen that man in my life.
Yeah, even Garrett has his limits. Yeah.
When you run an illegal gambling ring, you have a lot of idiots who show up, right? That's how you make money, running an illegal gambling ring, is you deal with a lot of idiots.
Is what you call them.
Yeah. Good friends. So does Nickel end up waiting like a few decades for Garrett to get out then? Like, goes looking for everybody? What...
Well, I assume she owes a debt because she wasn't paying for that freezer space.
They don't know why she's there, yeah.
So everyone comes out with, like, money owed.
I feel like, we don't need to go any further than that, but I just like the image of Nickel, like, waking up from her cryostasis, just pissed.
Like, what year is it?
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't do it, I had written up a thing, like an after-credit scene, essentially, where that happened. So this works even better. I like that reasoning.
Can I get a time frame, though? How far from the last episode would you say this is?
37 years, 3 months, and 4 days later.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I feel
but
okay
what's
about
the
that.
seconds?
Okay.
I will have retired from the limelight now, so.
Yeah, your face is out there.
Yeah, I was only popular for like a year, so. Before I faded into obscurity.
Wow.
Went bankrupt from horse bills.
Yeah. Yeah, it costs a lot to do that and not be good at Skip Tracer. I had a lot of props involved, yeah.
And then fell into a dark spiral, taking horse pills.
You got really hooked on horse tranquilizer.
I get it. It's a lot of fun.
No, I'm not saying that now. I'm taking that back.
All right, I'll edit that out.
Kids, don't go into a K-hole.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, never go into a K-hole.
That's not what the K stands for.
That's where my resurgence comes back, as I'm like an anti-drug like I do all those PSAs and stuff. I'm like,
right.
Life got tough for a little bit.
I can't wait to read the autobiography of
yeah, that's my third rise.
To see his life story.
Yeah, when I sell my autobiography. Yeah. I was going to do Dandelion.
Who was also your Axiom stand-in.
Also an Axiom. He left the Axiom before all this stuff kind of blew up. He kind of left right after we last saw him, when he spilled all the deets, I guess. Because he figured he burned enough bridges there. But he really liked the closeness in the family that it kind of provided for him. So he decides that he wants to like take up his own cult.
When such a selfish reason to do it too.
He wants some friends, and this way they have a guaranteed servitude.
It's not the worst reason to make a cult.
And it's not
That's
even
true.
it's not even a bad cult. Like,
That's what they all say.
yeah. But he gets his parents to fund him, and he purchases a lot of
course.
a lot of hallucinogenic drugs, and spikes the water, like the holy water that you pass around and stuff, and he builds up a commune. He picks up a lot of people from the Axiom that are still looking for like a community, and I would say he's pretty successful at it. Like, he probably has a gathering of like maybe about 200 or so. He's built that up over the years, and now he's kind of revered as this, I don't even know.
Cult leader.
Yeah, just a cult leader. Yeah, pretty much. Like, there's no other way to describe it, really.
Yeah.
Do they have like a name for him?
They have
Do they
to.
all call him Father? That's what every cult does.
They call him
Big Chief.
the Golden Flower.
Gold flower.
I figured Big D.
What's the name of the cult?
The Shining Garden,
Nice, I'll take that.
because it's
Something
the golden
Garden's
flower.
pretty good for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Shining Garden's good.
We're all a part of the garden. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And sometimes you need to do some pruning.
Oh my god. I like how it started with it's not one of the bad
I
cults.
was waiting for it to get dark.
Yeah, that's where I'll end it for Dandelion.
trying to think, can we work a season 2 out of all this? No, it's just getting too bad.
I mean, we definitely can.
Dandelion
but it's
brings
gonna
out the
be
garden shears.
even darker than the original.
It's gonna be bad.
Okay.
There's no way but up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left you for last because I think yours is at least a little better.
Yeah, for sure. I'm doing Jin and the Kids for mine. Jin Bei, action star extraordinaire. So yeah, I mean, mostly he tries his best to be a good dad, but it is hard to do, balance the work-life situation. So he has been off working, but when he's not, he takes the kids on vacations. They go to like the underwater city of Florence, that kind of thing. And yeah, I would say mostly he's lived a very charmed life. He aspires to finally win that EGOT because he's got the other two, so he just needs the Tony. Or the other three, I should say. Yeah, so he can't sing well, but that's never stopped anybody in the future anymore.
So you can get like
Yeah.
an auto-tuned cybernetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Built in.
These days, I mean, you could just have a voice box put in and someone sing while you mouth the words.
Just like the puberty implant.
Yeah, exactly.
Our worst invention so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the worst invention out of everything we've done.
Oh, yeah, there was that like dating app or whatever. That was the worst one.
Yeah,
I
the
can't
dick-
remember. Oh,
dick
yeah.
pic one.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, Dicker tape.
Oh, dick.
It has the best name, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
But the worst thing that we could have ever come up with.
Yeah, we're geniuses. Like,
Yeah.
that could literally, that could be an app now.
That's patented, by
I
the way.
mean, it is. It's every app.
Yeah, it's just
If
every
you're a
app already.
woman.
Yeah, just the name. The name's cool.
Anyways, yeah. So Paul and Laura, the kids, they grow up, I would say, well-adjusted-ish for now famous children. They definitely have everything they could ever want, but they still miss their parents and they visit Cass's grave semi-frequently. And I think they definitely, with Jin's help / money, they open up like a skip tracer defense fund to kind of help the families, that skip tracer actually ends up screwing over like they did with Cass.
Yeah, you see Tiz's name pop up on that application.
They don't know who you are. They never met you. Yeah, I think Laura becomes like a lawyer for that kind of cause and runs the organization, and Paul becomes a VTuber of sorts.
Well, very different career trajectories.
But they're mostly happy, I would say.
That sounds good. I like that.
And then there's apparently, I totally sadly forgot this until you reminded me today, of Piper and her bird. that we rescued from that mission.
Mhm.
I do think it's one of those things that, again, Jin wants to make good on that mission. He feels like that's always kind of weighed on his conscience. The one bad mark in his whole life, really.
Meeting us, yeah.
So, he fights for custody. He does have to, it's like an ongoing battle, even into like decades later with MassCorp to keep her. But mostly, yeah, she does grow up with him and the other two. And hopefully eventually, like, she can never leave Antle, unfortunately, because that's part of the lawsuit, is that they get to kind of keep watching over her. But she mostly gets to live a fulfilling life, her and her bird, and they just live kind of on the property with Jin for the rest of her days. She ends up taking care of him into his old age.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely thought you guys would pick, like, I don't know, some of the kind of nice people that might have nice endings.
No, fuck
them. It went a totally different direction.
I don't know. I think Dandelion did okay.
They did fine for them. But.
Yeah.
Balance it out.
Cool. Any thoughts, questions, concerns, comments? Anything to add before we wrap up?
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Jake.
Yeah, thank you all.
Good game.
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Yeah, and thanks to you, the listener.
Aw.
Aw.
Literally
Thank
could not have
you.
done this without you guys.
Mhm. A special double thanks to our patron sponsors and everybody who's supported us in buying merch and that kind of thing as well. We're definitely going to do a director's commentary for this. I don't know exactly what format that's going to take yet, but we will figure that out soon. And in 2 weeks, we've got a little one-shot for you. And then 2 weeks after that is the new campaign. Is that right, Alex?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Ooh.
So, yeah, awesome. Thanks again. Keep listening. Stay tuned. Roll on. No longer stay funky, Cyber Junkie. That's no longer relevant.
No, always stay funky, Cyber.
Yeah.
See everybody in 2 weeks. Thank you for listening to The House of Bob. If you're enjoying the show, give us a review on Apple Podcasts. Tell your friends about us. And if you'd like to chat, hit us up on social media. We're at The House of Bob on most platforms. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can check out our Etsy. We have some die trays and zines and little accessories there. Or you can pop over to our Patreon, which has at least 35 hours of bonus content, including a monthly bonus recording like director's commentary and one-shots, some RPG zines, and a monthly blog post. Thanks to our current Patreon sponsors, it's Blackout 12, Brandon Knox, Christine Braille, Elias Anderson, Jessica Colvin, Josh Jordan, Keith Haddad, Kieran Duffy, Luke Conroy, Mark Boykin, Mary Margaret, Patrick Hegarty, Pavel Lashin, Ray Kearney, Scooter Emerson, Mike, Ron Sonius, Team Eamon, Tom Inns, Tom Wesley, Tyler K, and Vold. If you've had a name change or I've been pronouncing your name wrong, send us a message, and we can correct it for next time. Artwork for this episode is by Jake at Javix. Audio production by Alex of Astronomic Audio. And the music was by John Julius. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution. Thanks for listening. Roll on. Stay funky, Cyber Junkie.
Do you need to say their names, the patrons?
Say their names.
Yeah.
Say their names.